Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of uh, the Pugilist Corner, uh, presented by the Dog Pound. And tonight, I felt compelled uh, to have this show due to the alarming number of children that have been killed or injured by gun violence as of actually yesterday, January 16th. And to give you a little background on the reasons why um, I thought this show was necessary, as the first show that we presented for the Pugilist Corner uh, in 2023. I do a lot of scrounging or foraging on YouTube for a lot of the stories that I do for my podcast. And saw Vince here. Let's see what happened. Uh, anyway, um, I was actually looking at, as I said, YouTube, and okay, um, okay. Oh, there he is. He's back. Okay. Uh, maybe I can't hear him yet. Let me see if let's get him up
Can you hear
here.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on
Oh,
there,
okay.
Vince?
Blessed by the best, feeling no stress, man.
Oh
My
man.
bad, man. I'm at the gym, man, and I got my kids up in there, and I had my music playing through here. And I looked at the time, I jumped in the air in the office, man, and looked up. All the music was blasting out. Oh God, technology, man. You
Hey,
know.
you know, I'm just glad that you're here. As I said, I invited a few people,
Yeah, yeah,
that I feel that I'm close to, and is also
yeah.
close to the situation. Uh,
Right, right.
and I was kind of explaining to the audience
Uh-huh.
the reason for this show, and,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, uh, I got the idea back on January, excuse me, on January 3rd,
Uh-huh.
when there were three young kids killed in Baltimore.
Right, right.
As we know, I mean, Baltimore is going through the same kind of stress and strain as you are,
Yeah,
not just in
yeah.
Bakersville, but in Chicago.
Right, right. Yeah.
You have an antiquated water system. Most water systems were built new when I was a kid, and
Right.
I'm 75 years old. So they definitely have to be old now. So
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, it's kind of indicative to our neighborhoods because everyone else's water systems in the suburbs have been updated.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
due
Yeah.
due to due to the lack of uh, housing in our neighborhoods, due
Mm-hmm.
to the lack of upkeep in our neighborhoods, due,
Right.
I mean, various, due to the lack of programs in our neighborhoods,
Yeah.
our neighborhoods are the most affected.
Yeah.
Uh, it,
Yeah.
it,
And that's how it is.
it, it,
That's
it,
that's in oh man. in any surrounding, uh, whether it's being in just neighborhoods, like you say, man, it's really, man. I tell you, I'm not the type to like to get into political stuff, but my thing on as far as that is, I trust the government and all that as far as I can go, you know, because it's really this world has become a place where it's every man for himself, which is not the way it's supposed to be. And that's the reason why we're having problems with the youth right now, you know. And that's why I try and instill in all my kids that I work with, man, respect, everything that we had when we was coming up. I know you dealt with it big time because I got it. That's how I came up, man. It was all about respect towards your elders and all that. None of that is happening now. And now we done gone back to you know, uh discrimination. Well, it never changed, but it's just standing out more. But it's funny how some people act like they never thought it existed. you know, can you hear me? Seem like your sound is out. Is it your sound or my sound? Okay, hit my mic when I did that. Okay, I cut mine back on. Can you hear? I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, I had to mute
Oh,
myself because Jake had called me. He didn't have the right link. So
oh, okay, okay.
yeah. So getting back to your remarks, I wasn't ignoring you.
Oh
Is that
man,
your phone or mine?
that's my phone. I got folks hitting me up right now. Uh, doggone it. How can I
Uh,
do this?
go ahead and hit them
That's right.
and then hit the link back. You can come back on.
All right.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So I seem to be having a little trouble here getting some of the people on here. I see Umar McDowell is on. Let me send this link to Jake here. Um,
Okay, I'm back on,
okay. All right. I can see we can hear you again now. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
huh? Okay, I didn't know if am I live right now?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay, okay. Uh, man, technology. No, I was just saying how society has changed so tough now, man. Like we don't kids don't respect their elders like they used to, and even but I think a lot of that is even strengthened from social media. Nowadays it's like I had parents even tell me how it seemed like their kids are soft, you know, and that's why I get a lot of kids coming up here. They actually bring their kids to try and toughen them up, and I say, well, you need to toughen them up mentally, but honestly, and I'll be honest with them too, is that a lot of that starts at home. You can't. When we was coming up, man, boy, Big Ma, that was the name. I used to think her name was Big Ma. I thought I did. I ain't learned till Martin Lawrence came out with that movie that it was Big Mama. Hey, call me slow. Hey, I didn't know. But
Hey,
yeah, man, that's just the way
every
we were brought up.
every neighborhood had a big mama. E- e-
Oh
e-
yeah, yeah.
everybody had that one old lady on the street,
Mm-hmm.
whether she was part of your family or not,
Yeah,
it did
yeah,
not matter.
yeah,
She had that old school mentality, and
yeah,
if she
yeah,
did if she didn't take you home, and she knew nine times out of ten, she knew your phone number.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Everybody knew a phone number then.
so if she didn't take you home, the phone call got home before you got there.
Yeah.
Lot of I remember a lot of times walking in the house unexpected. Oh, I didn't got away with this.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, Miss
Why
Mary
the-
just Miss Mary just called.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
I think you need to go down in the basement or go
Yeah.
outside
Yep.
or go outside and flat me some switches. You know,
Yep. Yep.
you know.
Yep. That's how it was, boy.
See, you know,
But
and
it's
now,
no discipline like that no more. Nah, they done cut it down. Man, we had it at school, didn't we? But it's something about the way society had changed. Yeah, it was those few people that did things wrong in that manner. It was people that did it wrong back in the day too, though. But you know what? We hear more about so much stuff now, and it gets broadcast so much that they just go overboard with stuff now.
well, well. Here's the thing. Right now, you have things happen instantaneously.
Hmm.
Before before it might take at least until in the morning
Right.
to find
Yeah.
out what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you find out in real
You
time.
find it. Yeah.
I
Hey,
see.
we.
I see. Brother Marvin is here. It says that he's not connected. I'm hoping to get him back there because uh, you're kind of unique, Vince. Because I talk about you and what you do in Chicago
Yeah. Uh huh.
and the Chicago Brotherhood,
Right. Right.
but you also work out here and do things out here in California.
Right. Right.
And Bakersfield, California.
Hmm.
Now,
Yep.
living down here in San Diego and not being familiar with the area, I'm
Hmm.
thinking of the old Bakersfield, rich
Yeah.
white folks full of money,
Yeah.
the movie
Right.
industry and whatnot.
Right. Right.
But but things have changed.
Yeah. It has a
Be,
lot.
because whenever brown people move in,
Yep.
those other folks seem to move out.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
now
That's it.
and now we have problems
Hmm.
where when you mention the name, people say, "Well, no, hey, how can they possibly be having problems there?" I
Right.
was
Yeah.
not aware of problems in Bakersfield because, like I said, I'm thinking, the old, overspill from Hollywood and so forth and so on.
Hmm.
This is where people go and they got their their summer houses and
Right. Right.
when you think of the old Bakersfield, you think of upper middle class. Tell us how much has changed in Bakersfield in the last 20 years or since you've been there.
Okay. Yeah. I've been here. Yeah. I've been here at least. Oh man, at least 30 something years. Yeah. Yeah. Probably about. Yeah, about 30 something years. But when I first got here, well, it was pretty much it was a racist county. I'm in Kern County, and it was always racist. And I mean, it's so crazy that some people that's here they so immune to it and used to it. Some people I bring it up to them about it because they wasn't brought up like me in Chicago in the '60s. So they didn't see everything going down with Dr. King coming out there and they're throwing bricks at him and the marches and all that. They don't and we passed that time, so a lot of them don't even know all they know is what they read in history books or what they learn in school, which is not a lot because they stopped the history on all of that stuff, right? Out here, there's no history on none of that. And I tell you, man, what's crazy? My sister, uh, uh, she started pushing for the Black history in the school system, you know, and she had the first what was it? What was it? Black History Assembly at a school out here in Bakersville. And you know, the thing is, a lot of us, a lot of our kind, we need to unite like we used to back in the day, but we got so drifted from through the years of all this stuff going on. Okay, but getting back on point of how it is out here, it's uh, like when I first got out here, you know, when you see racism going on and stuff, and it was a lot of it going on, but everything was low key and stuff, and so it was like it was really nothing new to me though, you know, because I came up through it, and I know when I see somebody trying to play a role, and you know, but my thing, I was always taught, you know what, not all the way like Martin Luther King turned the other cheek. It's just like, you know what, they put their hands on you, then you got grounds to do something, you know. So my thing was always to like, you know what, I let bygones be bygones. I'm gone. You know, I ain't got time for it. I just wouldn't be around. But as the years pass by, like even to this day, it's still that same way. And you know who's in charge now, right? I know we was gonna get to this, right? I know we was gonna get to
Well, we have to get to it because if you don't have any money now,
this.
you're gonna
What makes you think you're gonna have the money later?
precisely, and you know, I know how much sacrifice it takes
Yeah.
just in the little part that I do in the industry. So I
Mm-hmm.
can imagine, you know, guys like you, guys like Mr. McDowell, guys like
Yeah.
Calvin Ford, people that are really out there in the trenches,
Right.
actually trying to run programs to get the
Right.
kids
Right.
off the street,
Right.
and most of it coming out of your own pocket,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
which is what people don't understand because, oh, he got a business, he got a gym. They see all these little kids running around there,
Mm-hmm.
and they think
Mm-hmm.
that somebody's paying for all these kids. They don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that a lot of this is
Comes
quid
right out of
pro
our pocket.
quo.
Mm-hmm.
You see a little kid out there that you want to sit on the right path. You see a
Mm-hmm.
mother out there struggling to take care of her kids. You know,
Yeah.
and you see a kid that's got potential, but he
Yeah.
doesn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And and you try to mentor these kids, but
Yeah.
but when people walk by and they see a gym full, oh, he's fine, he's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Then they look at it like that, and then they like, oh, he all right. He don't need nothing. Yeah, we
oh
do.
man, look who's here, Vince. I
Uh
think
oh.
I think you might recognize this guy.
Oh man, Ricky.
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all
Oh
doing?
man,
The
Uh,
dog is in the house.
Ah,
hey,
The dog is in the house.
you see I still represent whether he here, whether he there,
my
it don't
man in
matter.
the
There
house.
you go. I know. You always
Let's go,
represent. You
champion.
always represent.
What's up,
Yeah.
man?
What's happening with you, champ?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
Oh, blessed by the best, feeling no stress. You know the rest.
Oh, man.
Oh
Stop
yeah.
it. Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that's good, man.
so
Yeah,
so we
man.
so before we talk about Detroit and what K9 is doing in his community,
Yeah.
finish that thought, Vince, about how your eyes can be deceiving. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And like a lot, like I said, a lot of guys here, uh, they wasn't brought up the way we was, where they seen it every day, and it's kind of like they got so immune to it. I'll tell you what, I saw something on TV. A guy had, matter of fact, it was a minister on there that was telling about, he told the story about this elephant that got chained up. And when you chain the elephant up and have him against the pole, as big and strong as he is, he would he couldn't get off of the tree, right? So mentally, he was in prison
Right.
mentally. So once they took it off of that, they put it on a little chair. He could just swing his foot and move the chair, but he refused to move because he felt like he's stuck. Then he showed a thing that scientists did with some gnats inside of a jar. They had the lid on the top. They just flew around for a day, took the top off, none would ever leave, and then they start breathing inside, and they never left because
And
the
they
ones
never
that
left.
they were born, they was born into that. That's the thing that happens with out here. Um, it's a lot of whites out here that are not prejudiced, but it's a lot of them. I'm telling you, it's crazy how it's born in them because some will say things and not know what they really even saying, and you can tell it's just a spirit within them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about this. They say you can take the fool out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. Sometimes that's the way it be. When you got it inbred in you so deep, it's hard to change. But that's the way Bakersfield is, man. Bakersfield is like that, and it's like uh, I don't see change in this city nowhere near no time, no time.
Uh, uh,
But
hold on to that thought, Vince,
mhm,
because I want to talk to Canine for a minute.
mhm,
Because Canine, you know,
Yeah.
even though I haven't been to Detroit since the '90s,
Yeah.
when you talk about Martin Luther King Boulevard,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emmanuel Stewart Place,
Yeah.
I kind of know what side of the tracks that this is on. Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
okay,
now,
wait, hold that thing. Why is it that every Martin Luther King is in the hood? It's the most tore up spot. Go ahead.
well. Not only usually is it the most tore up spot, but usually it also forms the dividing line
Yeah,
between the haves and the have-nots.
here too. Here
Okay,
too.
okay. You know,
That's
so
crazy.
uh, uh,
That's
so
crazy.
looking at some of the aerial shots of Detroit, and I know the downtown Detroit has been built up and revigorated and rebirthed and all that. But
Man.
notice I said downtown Detroit.
Exactly. Not the hood.
Okay.
Not
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah. Now, some of the aerial photos that I have seen are spots that have been vacant and burned down since the rise of 1967.
man. Preach.
What?
Right.
Some of these places have not been built up since I was a 20-year-old soldier on my way to Vietnam.
Man.
Uh.
Yeah, the hood been
Mhm.
forgotten.
Now, out here in LA, there are spots that have not been rebuilt since the Rodney King riots.
Yeah.
Vince, you can't tell me that there are not places in Chicago that haven't been built up since the summer of what, 67, 68, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
That's for real. There's places out there the same thing. And you know where they at.
but
You know where they at. Yeah.
but K9, I want to go back to what Vincent said earlier and what I was talking about. A lot of people go by your gym and
Yeah.
they see all these little kids there, and they see a bunch of people in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and they assume
Yeah.
that all these are paying customers. They assume that, hey man, K9 is making money hand over fist. Vince is making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
They don't realize how much money, how much time and effort you put into trying to bring
Mm-hmm.
these kids up and give them
Man.
not only a role model,
Yes.
but somewhere to go,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
after school or, in other words, a safe place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to mention this statistics while you guys talk about it. Since
No.
as of yesterday,
Mm.
there have been 38 kids killed this new year.
Wow.
This is only the 17th.
Yeah.
Remember, I said there were 38
Yeah.
killed.
Mm-hmm.
There was another 42 injured.
Wow. And that's the ones we know about.
Right. And this includes domestic violence in the house.
Yeah.
Where the father commits suicide, kills one of the kids, or kills the family. You know, we had a family of 6, I believe, out here in California just either yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's what can we do as men and as mentors and caretakers of our neighborhood? What can we do to try to stop the flow when our resources are very limited?
Yeah. I know one thing we gotta do. We gotta turn the radio down. Because you know, if it's talking about kill and you know, rob somebody and break in the house, you gotta turn that down. Turn up something that's saying something positive. Even if the beat don't go together with it, just listen to what they're saying. You know, listen to it. You know, we are watching the right things. You know, hey, your eyes can deceive you, boy. You know, we gotta start watching. You know, don't turn to the news. The news gonna promote. She got killed, and she got killed, and he got killed. Man, I don't want to hear who got killed. No, you know what I mean? I want to know what's going on that's positive. I need to hear something positive. Today was, you know, James' birthday. Oh man, James made it another year. Oh my K9. Oh, K9 made it to see another year. Vince's birthday. Oh man. Merry Christmas, you know. I know when it was it was about 10 years ago when they closed the gyms down, the kids ran wild. I mean, you had so many break-ins, you had so many kills, murders. I mean, man, the community centers are needed. Boxing gyms are needed. You know, look out. Just think about it. If God didn't, you know, bless me to go down to that gym, that Crunk gym, man, I don't know what I would have been in life. I don't know if I would be dead or in jail because I didn't have an education. You know, I didn't have a daddy. You know, the streets wasn't teaching me nothing but do the wrong thing. I got in that boxing gym and my life changed. For the better.
And the thing about that is that it brings on something, like you say, see, me and you are the same, man. We got the same mindset, man, because it's like I don't like dealing with, I don't involve myself around negative people. You know, if they are, I agree that I disagree. Everything got to be positive that come out of me. You know what I'm saying? Because you are what you eat. You are what you think.
Right.
You know. So, and that's what I try and instill on all my kids here.
Yes, that's good.
I even go as far as I tell them, don't give me no 4-letter words. No won't, can't, ain't, none of that stuff. You know. We use "we" like yet. Like I can't do it yet. You know. You know, give me some positive stuff. Because kids are gonna grow off of whatever their mindset is on, you know.
Right.
And but yeah, man, when it comes down to it, man, that negativity and the way social media puts it out there, man, it feeds the world on it, man. And the bad part about it is that it's in those higher places now.
Yeah.
And that's messed up for the lower places. You know.
Right.
So it takes people like me and you to have these programs. I mean, we might not be able to get but a handful.
Right.
But hey, out of that handful, you never know which one might be the next Obama or Martin Luther King or something that come out that changes something. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's why I say blessed by the best of no stress, and you know the rest. Because we can only do our best. You know?
It's crazy that I know more negative people than positive people. I know more bad people than good people. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Do I want to know the bad people? Maybe, because guess what? They can change. They can turn around.
Right.
But wait a
Right.
minute. But okay. Now, once again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Oh,
Be-
Uh-oh.
be-
Uh-oh. Ah.
Because
oh,
no, because Vince
Here we go.
just made a statement
yeah,
about the people of the
yeah,
community in which he operates
yeah,
and how even though they might not know it
mm,
or they might not be outwardly wearing
Mhm.
clan uniforms,
yeah,
there's a
Right.
there's a certain amount of ingrained behavior because
Mhm.
grandpa did it, great grandpa did it,
yeah,
daddy did it,
yeah,
Mhm.
you know, and at a certain point, this was accepted behavior.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
glad.
I mean, think of somebody my age,
Yeah,
and then think of LGBTQ.
yeah,
Think of all the letters that I went through in order for me to be able to get to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm glad you
to show you how much the world has changed.
let
Go ahead.
say something on mine. I'm glad you said that. You said in your time, in your day. Guess what? In your time, in your day, it was the good times. Even though it was some bad times, think about the good times. You know, we all were trying. We came together because we were all trying to get out of slavery. You know, when I say we
Mhm.
all, I'm talking about my peoples. We were trying to get out of slavery.
Mhm.
So yeah, we did everything together. Think about it.
Mhm.
The same people that stuck together. They started getting a boxing. They supported boxing. They was happy to have a Jack Johnson. It was a
Mhm.
Jack Johnson. Guess what? Now that our ancestors, let's say my granddaddy, your daddy, his daddy,
Mhm.
man, they not
Mhm.
around no more. So guess what? A lot of young
Mhm.
people, they don't watch boxing no more. They watching UFC. We grew
Mhm.
up on boxing, and guess
Mhm.
what? Everybody in a right mind, they're not gonna go do no UFC. They're gonna be like,
Mhm.
straight, I'm gonna smoke me a blunt. I'm gonna drink.
Yep.
If their
Yep.
granddaddy was around and put him up
Mhm.
on boxing, come on,
Yep.
first thing you hear when you hear about a granddaddy, man, my granddaddy, he won a golden gloves.
Yep.
Man, they
Yep.
ain't got him doing
Yep.
the boxing no more. The sweet science done disappeared. So now
Yep.
they into something else now. They doing something else now.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Go
Yep.
ahead. Yeah, hey James, I just had to say that because that's a good point, man. I'm telling you.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying that it's the good old days were all the good old days because I did a lot of dirt back, and trust me, I know from experience that boxers are doing a lot better today than they were back in the day
yeah,
That's
because
just financially.
well
Financially.
financially right
yeah,
because back in the day after you
yeah,
got your purse I might be waiting for you in the dressing room, which
yeah,
means that you wasn't getting paid that night.
yeah,
The
yeah,
bookie
Mhm.
was
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
you
But if
know
it wasn't for y'all though, if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't have nothing. Muhammad Ali, they paid
Right.
the way. Jack
Right.
Johnson, Cerresso
Right.
Robinson.
yeah, I mean
Yeah,
hey I watched a lot of those young boys, Harry Arroyo, Boom Boom Mancini.
Mhm.
I watched a lot of those guys.
yeah,
And would be thinking, man, that's a whole lot of work that they be putting in there. But yeah, unfortunately, I decided to take the easy way out. But that's another story for another day. But the thing is,
yeah.
at that particular time, I could go in my little town,
Mm,
Mhm.
and we only had 150,000 people total.
yeah,
But we were still separated in the hood, the east side, the west side. Come on. If you lived on the east side or the south side, you knew damn well that you was living in the hood.
yeah,
You
yeah,
Yeah.
know, I don't care what city you living in, except maybe Chicago, because I don't think Chicago, one of those they don't have because it's the lake. What is that, Vincent?
Oh no, no, no. That's downtown.
Okay, but
We didn't stay downtown. They ain't had us near that water because they figured if we was close to the water, we'll have flashbacks and we'll make a boat and we'll sail off. Hey, hey, now keep them Negroes away from that water.
yeah,
but the thing was, I could go to my little neighborhood, and there was the Pearl Street Mission, and then
Mhm.
you had the Spanish guys, or the white guys. They had their own little boxing gym, and we had a competition. Yeah, and then uh, you go to the regionals, or you go to Cleveland, or wherever the next step was. You go to Akron, whatever, and you had many kids in the gym. The parents would drop them off at the gym, you know, because
Mhm.
and then we came to we even got so good as we got to the latchkey generation, where the kids had they had their own key because mama and daddy had to work two jobs, or
Right.
somebody wasn't there to supervise you. So the boxing gym, little league baseball,
Yeah, pal.
Yeah.
all of that, you know, was
Yeah,
places that kids could go.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
And like I said, they could feel safe in those
Mhm.
spots. And not only
Right.
did the kids feel safe, the parents felt safe about dropping them off there.
Mhm. Hey,
Now,
and I know you got the same thing, K9.
yeah,
Uh, I get that with all my kids' parents.
yeah.
They know it ain't nothing but love coming out of this building,
Right,
and they know I'm sincere from my heart with this. I'm not out here to. It's not about making a dollar. It's about changing some lives.
right.
And when you take your kid, they would come here at first and they'll sit here and watch and everything. And
Yeah,
I really don't, I won't pay attention to them. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. I'm working with this kid. I'm moving to
yeah,
this kid, that
yeah.
kid. And I got my co-trainer out here too, and he's working with them too.
Absolutely.
And after they do about a couple of days, they're like, can we leave? And then they feel comfortable. And
Right.
then after that, now it's like they know they got a safe place
Absolutely.
that they can send a kid. And you know
Yeah,
how it go when it comes to tournaments.
yeah.
You better be able to trust in that guy because he about to take your son out of town to go fight somewhere.
Some of them,
And
some of them just drop the kids off, and leave you as a baby.
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and then
see,
you
so
babysit.
right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
So you become the babysitter, the father, the brother, the mother.
everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and I mean, some of y'all got kids at home to deal with.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know,
We need
so
to
so
have.
so you're sacrificing on both ends. You're sacrificing
Yeah,
your time to try to save
Hmm.
somebody else's kids while you're
Hmm.
still trying to keep the respect of being a father at home.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Can
And
I talk a little bit about that? Because a father's a whole different responsibility, and
oh yeah,
especially a father that knows the pitfalls of the business.
oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So hey, it's like when you're a father and you actually coaching your son. That's one of the hardest jobs you can ever have because your son is hearing you all day. Clean the room up, go do this, go do that. And then you in the gym telling him, do this, do that. It's like all he could do is remember him being at home, not knowing that this is
Hmm.
a ball game now.
Hmm.
Father and son, now this is coach and fighter. You
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta get you gotta, we have to, identify what's what. And
Right.
but I have to unleash, myself and cut back and step back a little bit and make him realize, no, I'm not dad right now. I'm dad, but I ain't dad. I'm your coach.
Right. Right.
Get home, it's a whole
Hmm.
relationship. Now I'm back your dad again. Man, clean that room up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Now, see, I came up on that half because that
yeah,
was my dad. My
yeah,
dad was on me
yeah.
coming up,
Right.
and it was 24/7, man. It was
Oh man.
24/7,
Hey,
and but
hey,
I
hey,
learned
let
to
me say
love
something
it.
for you. Let me say this real quick while you said that. 24/7. You just said 24/7. Just think about what Floyd said about his daddy on 24/7. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that was just because it's a sticky situation. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that was reality.
That's reality. That's
That was
reality.
reality.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how
Hmm.
he meant it, but at the time it's like, man, I'm tired of hearing your you know what I'm saying? Your
Yeah,
mom shut up.
no, and I'm gonna tell you the things that he said kind of remind me of like Bernie Mac used to always say. I'm just saying what y'all scared to say.
Yeah.
You know, uh,
Stop it. Yeah.
it's everything that every kid
Yeah.
has in their mind, or
Yeah.
like a kid had toward their parents.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, who all thought of this when they was little? Oh,
Yeah.
gee, wait till they just die.
Yeah.
You know, you actually got to that point, man, but you're a kid and like, oh, I wish you wasn't even here no more. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and but then in reality you don't, but you just mad. But I tell
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
family anger is the
Yeah.
worst anger in the world, boy.
I tell you. Yeah.
Because those are the ones. That's when they say, what they call it, domestic. When it becomes domestic, oh
Yeah.
man, we got
You
some
get real.
serious stuff. We better bring the dogs in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Get real.
we don't know
Hey
what's
Jay,
up.
go
Well,
ahead, Jay. Look, I got to ready to go, my dog. I just had to come and tap in real.
okay. Well, before you go,
You go,
hold on.
hold on.
I got some feedback
I
here.
got
Who's
some
that?
feedback here. Who's that?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is this feedback from you, Coach Shaun?
Coach Shaun. This Shaun, Coach Shaun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems like I'm getting some feedback from.
You. What about now?
Let's see.
Let's see.
I still hear
I
echo.
still hear echo.
Oh, it's coming from me
That's
too.
coming from me too. You want me to come back in?
Yeah, try coming back in,
Try
Coach
coming
Shaun.
back in, Coach Shaun.
Yeah, it was just before he got in there.
Yeah, that's why I know it had to come from his set.
Oh yeah.
But Coach Shaun, I'll give you a little background in our audience before he gets in. Coach Shaun is from the DMV area, and he has two sons. Uh, if you go on YouTube and you put in them Robinson boys, those are his sons. I believe one is 9-0 or 10-0. Hold on, let's see. Let's hope we can get him back in here. Hello, Coach Shaun.
All right.
Okay, much better, much better.
There you go.
I was giving the audience and brother Hudson a little background, and I was telling him that you are also a father, and that you have two sons in the sport. And we were just talking with K9 about the added responsibility of being a father and having two sons in the ring, as well as being able to interact with the community as a mentor.
Okay. You want me to give you a response?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I have always shown my sons through example of being an example for the community. When they were amateurs, and we still do it sometimes. When they were amateurs, I used to have my sons out interacting with the community. I had a couple of guys that had an organization that will organize and feed the homeless on Sundays, every Sunday. So every Sunday we would go down to this one particular area downtown, and it's like in the downtown area in Baltimore where the homeless be at. And so they would give up, a lot of a lot of clothing and stuff away. They would set up a lot of food banks and stuff, give a lot of free food and stuff away. And my sons will be right there on the front line. And every time they had like or some type of organization going on, we will be right there on the front line. Just so my boys can get that understanding that even though we are busy, we still got to put time in for the community to let the community see their faces, just so they can understand that they care,
Yeah.
and at the same time, and understand that other people have different circumstances and stuff that we have to respect and try to help. It's not all about us all the time, and so even though we had a busy schedule, working all the time as far as training, going to tournaments and fights and stuff, my homies, or I would call my comrades, that's out there organizing and doing stuff for the community, can always count on the Robinson boys being out there on the front line doing what we can to give back to the community. And it doesn't stop now. Like once my sons get back from this fight, I'm gonna have them working at this food bank just so they can have a better understanding of how things work. Because they have to. We have to show by example, man. And I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's right.
the first teacher.
Oh man, that's all good, man. That's awesome.
Coach, was
Thanks, man.
bringing up some numbers here, and just since the beginning of this year, it's only January 17th. We have had 38 children killed by gun violence and another 42 injured, either by domestic abuse or whatever, but all involving gun violence. Have you seen a tenable way for us to get guns out of our neighborhood?
Getting guns out of the neighborhood, I honestly wouldn't suggest getting guns out of our neighborhood. I would rather advocate on education. Like I have guns. I mean, I ain't gonna say I have guns, but I have protection in my home. And one of the things that I do is go to the gun range. One of the things that I do is teach my sons and my daughter how to properly use a gun and how to properly handle. Take them to the gun range, let them go through a gun course, because that's what Europeans do. They teach their kids at what an early age on how to handle a gun. They give them education. So we should be doing the same thing. I don't advocate for just not having. I'd rather have a gun in my home. Uh, it's like having insurance. Even though we don't need insurance, we don't really use insurance when we driving, but it's good to have it just to have it. Um, so I'm not of the mindset of not having a gun. I'm just more of the mindset of having a gun, properly educating myself, my family on how to handle a gun in case of an emergency. But but other circumstances dictate certain situations, other family members and stuff like that that don't have, me as a father or, a mother around. I wouldn't, I mean, their circumstances might, dictate another type of response. But I'm just more of an advocate on education. You know what I'm saying? The circumstances and stuff like that is unfortunate where a lot of these family members are being, you know, brutalized and it's unfortunate, that a lot of these family members are being victimized by the gun violence and stuff. It's sad, but I would rather just properly educate people about guns and the mishandle of guns, the statistics and all of that. You got to educate the people and create awareness first before you could do anything.
Well, I honestly believe that if more black people actually purchase assault weapons, we would get a ban on them much quicker. Oh, but there I go with there I go with my political stuff again. But anyway,
Hey, well, put out a petition for that there, man.
but as you say, when you talk about education and proper handling, I agree with everything that you're saying, and I also I'm an advocate of crime. There's no such thing as black crime, white crime. It's all crime. Doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what race is perpetrated against. It's all a matter of
Mm-hmm.
crime. And Vince, I go back to you to like where the media has played a role in I think accentuating crime in our neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Percentage wise, I don't think we have any more crime than the average poor white neighborhood or the average poor Spanish neighborhood or the average poor whatever ethnic race you want to put there. As long as you put poor in front of it, I think that there's a certain amount of
Hey, let me. Oh
inequity.
man, I don't have the exact stats, but I remember it was right when the pandemic hit. Uh, it was crazy because they had said that out here, I think we was ranked all the way up there as far as homicides in the city. Now this is around the time that my whole hometown Chicago was just being labeled as just what they call it Chirac. There's like all the killings going on there. But you got to think about how big a city that is, and they was going off the numbers. But when they went percentage wise, I'm in Bakersville, Little Bakersville. We had a homicide rate that was just as high or higher than Chicago, percentage wise.
Uh,
So did.
Coach Shaun, I want to kind of get back to you and the education part. And so, how do we get our kids off the street and give them more of a sense of value of life itself?
I mean, it's at first and foremost, to be perfectly honest, we got to return back to the Most High. Try to get a relationship back with the Creator. A lot of us have been out of sync and out of tune with who our Creator is. Because
Hmm.
you know the fundamental aspect of why we are here is to serve the Most High. So if we don't put the Most High first, and in terms of while we here and be able to respect who we are as a people, as a nation, and we can't respect that we have a divine being within us all, how are we going to sit back and even value life itself when we don't even value that we are all creators,
Hmm.
creation of the Most High? Um,
That's real.
you know,
That's real.
so second, thanks. So secondly, I think that what's missing also is when you look at the paradigm. I mean, the pyramid. It's supposed to be the creator. It's supposed to be the man, the woman, and then the child. And a lot of the times, we are put on the men, us as men. Um, we are always under attack. We are being taken out of our homes for certain reasons and stuff. And a lot of these kids don't grow up under those type of circumstances where you have a mother and a father. Like I was raised without a father. My mother raised me. My mother had me when she was I think she was born. I mean, I was born. She became pregnant when she was 15. She had me when she was 16
Hmm.
years old. And I'm going through a lot right now. I'm still experiencing a lot of trauma due to the fact that I never had a father, due to the fact that my mother had me when she was young, due to the fact that I thought that, when I was growing up, she abused me a lot because she gave me that rough, tough love. She didn't give me that nourishing love, that woman, that what you call that divine
You
nurturing
you,
spirit,
you were always
that
your
embrace.
father's son.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's how my mother. Yeah,
See,
that's
I know. I
Hmm.
yeah, that's how she treated me.
yeah.
She treated me like that. My mother threw me out there in the ocean, man, with sharks, and I had to learn how to swim on my own. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
and I still, to this very day, I'm still going through it. I don't really have a relationship with my mother like that. My mother have a relationship with my other brother. I mean, I have two other brothers. I have a brother that's on a homosexual side or whatever. Then I have another brother that's out there on the streets hustling and stuff. But That's their life that they chose. I still love them. I'm the one that's kind of like, I've been married for 22 years. 22 years. We just had our 22nd anniversary. I never had a father.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You never. I don't know. You know, I got a whole phone book here, and I don't know 22 people that have been married 22 years. But go ahead.
Yeah,
I
for real.
mean, it's not easy, man. It's not easy because I tell people all the time. People when they hear me say that I'm married and I've raised what 4 boys so far. I had 4 boys, 1 girl, well 2 girls because I mean my wife was already she already had a daughter when we first got married. She was 14 months. Now she's 24. So I've been raising her practically all her life. But the main point is breaking generational curses. We have to break them ourselves. These generational curses is an ongoing war that we have to continue to wage against ourselves first, trying to, I guess, more so trying to bring things into our family and into our own lives that's been a curse, that's been a traumatic experience, trying to make our lives better so we can improve the lives of others. Our sons out there on the streets, they need men. They need us. They need us being able to organize. They need us to being able to have some type of mentor. I ain't just saying mentor, big brotherhood, but big brothers and stuff like that. It's deeper than that, man. Like these kids out here need men. And these women out here, these sisters out here, they need mothers. They need mothers that's nurturing, that's going to show them how to be able to understand what a father is, what a man is, and what a man should look like, what a man character should look like.
Right.
They need discipline. They just need love and attention, man. And they're not getting that in these houses these days because our homes has been broken up for so long. So it's like I'm a prime example. Like I said, I've been married for 22 years. I can't use the excuse that I never had a father. I can't use the excuse that I never had a mother that showed me how a woman should love a man. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn. I'm still learning it to this day, but I'm willing to put the work. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, we have to learn. We have to want to put the work in, and it's lazy, man. Like marriage is work. It's work, and being out here.
Hey, overall, life is work. Hey,
life is work.
look,
Exactly.
hey, I'm sorry, fellas. I'm gonna have to get up in this gym in a minute. But before I go, hey, coach, I gotta tell you, I gotta give my hats off to you and everything, because I'm telling you, you think about. I always take my hat off to somebody that went through things and still made it. You came up without a father. You came up with a mom that took care of you, and regardless of, I don't know how y'all relationship became, but it came out the way it was supposed to. Because without it being that way, you wouldn't have became that man that you are now. And I'm gonna tell you, from where I'm listening to you and seeing what you're doing with your son, you're doing a great job, man. You're doing an excellent job. And who do it come from? From the man up above, man. And you brought that up at the very beginning. And that's the pathway that we all have to go. And you called it at the very beginning when you said that is the key. That's the key right there. That's the channel right there. And even though we may go through different routes to get where we're trying to go, everybody's gonna go through situations. I call them situations. Now, I try and stay positive with stuff. Everybody got a situation, but you got to go through situations. You know that from even training with your fighters and stuff. You got to learn from getting hit upside the head how not to get hit. You ain't gonna learn how to slip just instantly from reading it in a book. You're gonna have to be in that ring, and you're gonna have to move that head a couple times to know how to move that head out the way.
Right.
So it's like, we got to go do our roller coaster of life and everything. And the thing is, you kept your seatbelt on and you held on, and that's what we got to do, and that's what we got to continue teaching to these youngsters. You know. But man, my hats off to you, man, and congratulations on everything that you're doing, champ. Hey,
I
but
appreciate it.
James, I've got to connect with my man. I got to connect with him, man. So connect us up some kind of way. I got to get in the
I,
gym though.
I definitely will connect you with Coach Shaun. Vince is with the Chicago Brotherhood of Boxing, and he also works with kids out here in Bakers, California. So thank you so much, Vince, and I
All right,
I
appreciate.
appreciate
appreciate
you,
you too,
man.
Vince.
All right, appreciate you, coach. I'll get with you though.
Okay.
All right, stay blessed, y'all.
All right, Coach, you mentioned two words that have a lot of meaning in my generation, and I think that somewhere as we go down the line, this word has either been these words have either been watered down or used to such an extent that they've actually lost their meaning. And the first word is respect. Because nowadays a guy shoots you because you disrespected him for walking on his shoes, or maybe you didn't look at him right. So the word respect and disrespect, I think have been just I want to say disenfranchised, because respect to me growing up meant respecting your elders. You had respect for a higher being. Uh, you you had self respect, and I think these are things that are missing in our children today, and I'm wondering how we get back to how do I explain? Okay, let me explain it this way. If I go to what we call an organization and tell them that I want to set up a program to mentor kids, the first thing that they're going to ask me for is my educational criteria. What they consider, do I have a PhD in this? Have I studied social studies? Have I studied this and that? Whereas you have people like yourself that have been out there on the front lines, and you can't get funding because not because of your lack of ability to do the job, but because you don't have the right credentials for society. How do you overcome those type of obstacles?
I mean, it's just matter. It's just a matter of um how bad do you want it? How bad do you really want to make an a difference in this world? Just like for instance, I never boxed before. A lot of people believe, or they can't. They are in disbelief, believing that how was it possible for me to raise my sons up and never boxed a day in my life? Um, it's something that I feel like that the Most High put inside of me. I was passionate about it, and I pursued it. And not only did I pursue it, I took notes. You would see me in the gym. You would see me with my notes, with my what you call my composition notebook. I had all types of um um what I call boxing combinations and strategies and this, that, and the other.
So you didn't have a tablet and iPad and all those type of things. I mean, 22 years ago, those things weren't,
No,
you know.
right. So it's the same thing. Like I'm just passionate. When you're passionate about something, you will overcome the obstacles of what society dictates. Because just because I've never boxed before, don't mean I can't be a good coach. I'm unable to be a good trainer. So just because you don't have the credentials that society dictates doesn't mean that you are not going to be successful at what you are destined to do. As long as you don't give up, and that's what I believe, in terms of overcoming the obstacles of not having a PhD. If you want to do something, and if it's the Most High's will for you to do something, you just set your goals, write a plan, and just keep at it, until you succeed at it. Now, every day is not going to be sunshine. Every day is not going to be where you're going to see success coming overnight. But it's just something that you have to continue to fight for, if that's what you believe in. If it's something that you really are passionate about, you should just continue to overcome the odds. And that's what I'm doing. I mean, like, it's so much that we have to do as a people, as a nation, as men out here, man. I was just telling my wife today that it's so much stuff that we have to learn. Like, I'm learning how to establish an LLC. You know, uh, like right now, them Robinson boys, we are business now. You know what I'm saying? And I have a sole proprietorship. I never learned this in my life. And I was telling my wife, I'm pissed off because I'm learning all of this now. If I would have knew back then, I would have had my boys and all my children would have had IRAs and trust funds and all this stuff, man, to help them as they continue to get older. Because
As I
we
said,
got
legal Zoom. See, something else that we didn't have access to. You know,
right.
back in the day. Nowadays, you can copyright in 15 minutes.
Hmm. Right.
you know, like you said, you're an LLC. You can establish a business now for a minimal amount of money. It's not
Right.
like it's not like it used to be, where you needed to hire a lawyer and so forth and so on. Nowadays, there are a lot of things that you can do if you want to investigate. If you want to do it bad enough, you can find a
Hmm.
way to get around those uh, obstacles that life constantly puts in your way. Coach,
Right.
you are a great example to my audience. I appreciate everything that you do with the boys, and and the success that you have had. Uh, but I would like, you know, uh, each one teach one. Is kind of where I'm at this point. What's your thoughts on that? And where do you think that we as black men have to start in order to save our young people, in order for our young people to survive? Because right now we're on the downhill slope, and you know uh, educationally, financially, and in all ways. At some time, we have to get off the Titanic.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I would say is put the Most High, bring the Most High back into our lives, pray, um, try to at least get back to following the laws and the commandments that's in the Bible, the Bible, as the best way that we possibly can. Be righteous among ourselves, be righteous among our community, among each other. When you learn a skill, set up a opportunity where others can learn. You know what I'm saying? Like when Yahshua, the Messiah, when he started teaching, what did he tell Matthew and everybody else, become fishermen. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and
Become
start
fishers of
training.
men.
Right, exactly. So
I'm
that's
an
our
old
job as
PK. I'm
men.
sorry.
Nah, but that's the truth, though. um,
I might not have lived the life, but I do know what what it means.
yeah,
And
right.
so but yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. For I do still have a problem with organized religion because I see no reason for me to for the pastor to drive a Bentley and I'm riding a
Of
bicycle.
course.
You know,
Right. I agree.
you know, but the basic principles and the basic way of life is something that yes, I do think that we should get back to. Even when you look at your old philosophers, Aristotle, uh, you can go back all the way through history, and these are things that they all stress. First, be righteous and to go out and to teach.
Yep.
All things that we have gotten away from because nowadays everything is I have to keep it to myself. This is mine.
Right.
You can't have it. you
Can
know.
I can I share something with you?
Yes, sir.
One of the things that I want to do is to be able to establish, like I said, I mean, I'm working on the business. Them Robinson boys, we are business now. We're a brand, a trade name, we're a business. But once we get to a certain point, I want to be able to, own land. That's another thing that we're not taught, how to purchase land, deed and land, and being able to own land and property and have access and being able to, like, I want to own a land and grow food. That's another thing that we did when my boys, when all my children, we was out there growing food. Had a big spot next to a church, and we was able to cultivate the land, and we grew all types of food and gave it away to the community. That's another thing. That's self preservation, being able to grow your own food. That's something that we weren't taught, that I had to learn how to teach. Now I'm growing food every year now. Um, so basically, have a big gym, being able to have have some of the kids that don't have that opportunity to get away from their homes, can't afford tournaments and stuff. When we get to a certain point, being able to give back to these kids so they can come out their little houses and stuff and be able to have a little boxing camp. I have a cousin that does trade, electrician trade, and he's teaching my sons on how to split wire and bend metal and put in um what you call those motion lights and be able to wire a whole house. They're learning that too as a skill. So and so these are assets and resources that we as a people should be able to learn. So that way, once we learn, we go ahead and start teaching the kids, giving back to the youth so they can be able to have a skill where they don't have to go to college and put all this money and get all these loans and stuff, man. They learning a vocational skill that was taken from school. You know what I'm saying? So they can be able to go and get certified for apprenticeship or whatever, and then right after that, coming and start working. I mean, it's just so many avenues that we can do, that we can take to be able to get our kids off the streets, man. But we got to put the work in.
Brother, I'm going to share a story with you because I'm not sure whether you know it or not, but usually on Mondays I do a political show, and I talk a lot about things that happen within the black community and the future of the black community. I came across an article uh, where McDonald's are trying out totally automated restaurants which means that the people that they give you that Big Mac and make that milkshake, those entry level jobs that used to be open to the community. Robotics are sooner or later going to make those type of things obsolete. You spoke of trades, and these are things that are no longer being taught in schools in most places, at least not in our communities, because we've cut back so much. So you don't have the shop classes, the automotive classes, the classes that teaches you the basic skills in life. Basically, school teaches you have to go to college in order for you to succeed. But as you say, we are coming to a point where you're going to need carpenters. You're going to need electricians. You're going to need people that are computer savvy to a certain to a certain extent. I mean, look at me. I'm on the computer at my age. I mean, when I was 35, I wasn't thinking about one of these things because it was twice as long. It was too heavy, and you had to do too much
Right.
stuff to set it up. You know, uh, one of my stints in the penitentiary, I tried to become a programmer, and I had suitcases full of cards because it was a different time, a different era. So, how do we get back to teaching our kids these basic things without going back to the original neighborhood structure and back to that time when it really took a village to raise a child?
I mean, it's the same. Just having the passion of wanting to teach one, and we can't save them all, and that's the understanding that we have to realize that we can't save everybody. But if we have one skill, like growing food, you know, we could go and teach two or three kids on how to grow food, how to grow cucumbers, how to grow lettuce, watermelon. You know,
What,
um,
one of my stints in the penitentiary, I was, instead of working in prison industries, I would teach people how to read. And that was my goal. If I had one guy that could pass his
mhm,
GED that year, you know, didn't all of them didn't have to pass, but just that one. If I could get
right,
one every year to get a GED, I felt that I
right.
was successful.
That is being successful. It only takes one drop, to have a rainfall. So you teaching one, that one could teach another, another could teach. I mean, you just never know how many lives you're going to save and change just by teaching one person.
Yeah, and
So if
I'm
we
going
have
home. I'm going home. He might be staying there. Like you say, he can
right,
teach. He can teach another one. But
right.
yeah,
So that's how we change, man. Like it doesn't happen overnight, but as long as we're not self-centered, selfish, and we have the commitment and dedication of being able to say, you know what, I have all this skill, I have all this knowledge, I don't want to keep it. I don't want all this knowledge to die with me. I'm going to pass this along to everybody who has the ear to hear and the eyes to see. You know what I'm saying? And a mouth to reciprocate and convey what I have said to someone else. Our job is done. And and I always say, let the Most High do the rest. We ain't gonna save them all, but at least we can sit back and say we did our job by at least saving one person. You know what I'm saying? That way it won't stress us out. You know,
yeah. You do run a lot of stress when you try to take upon the burden of many. So I do understand what you're saying there. But thank you so much, Coach Sean. I appreciate you. I got to get back with you and the boys. I miss talking to you guys. I want to shamelessly put in a pitch here. What do you guys have going on?
Yeah, we'll be back. We leave. I'm leaving out for Thursday for my flight, and fight is on Saturday. So after Saturday, anytime next week, or
Well,
the week after, just let me know.
where are the boys fighting, and do they have opponents yet?
Yeah, they fighting in Florida, Tampa, Florida,
Oh,
under
okay. You
yeah, Tava,
okay. Tarver
yeah,
promotion.
Tava Promotions. Yep.
Yeah.
Ibrahim is fighting a six rounder, his first six rounder. He's fighting a guy that's 5-2, and this guy basically he just fought on a Terrence Crawford undercard on BLK Prime. The guy that he's fighting, his name is Javier Mayoral. He beat this guy that was 12-0.
Okay.
My son is 4-0. So he's coming off of a big upset. So he thinking that he's gonna do my son the same way. But we got a surprise for
It's a surprise, surprise. And your other son is 9-0, 10-0.
I wish. Now my other son is 4-0 too.
I thought that,
So he
I don't know. Maybe I put the two of them together, but I thought that
yeah, you probably put the two of them together because they both 4-0.
okay.
But yeah,
But
Muhammad's
one is
fighting this
but one is a knockout artist though. He ain't had nobody go past the first round.
yeah, that's Ibrahim, my oldest. That's the one that's fighting the 5-2 guy that beat
Okay.
the 12-0 guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guy that he fighting never been knocked out before. So
Okay.
it's gonna be interesting.
All right. And your other son is fighting his first six rounder too, or he's still fighting for
He's fighting he's still fighting the 4 round, but this is gonna be his debut in Florida, his first fight in Florida.
okay. Okay. Well, I wish you guys luck, and I look forward to talking with you after. I see all of the stuff that you're putting up there on YouTube. So, hey, keep up the good work, and as I said again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
All right, thank you for the invite, man. Appreciate it. Looking forward for another one.
All right, Coach Shaun. I'll talk to you
Okay.
as soon as possible.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Yeah. Well, I was actually hoping that we'd get a little bit more participation. I know Coach Umar McDowell. I'm going to have to get a show and get him on by himself to talk about some of the things that he's doing down there in Baltimore with his No Hooks Before Books program. But uh, I was also hoping that we could get Jake Smith on. He's also from the Baltimore area. And as I was saying to Coach Shaun, who's in the DMV, uh, now we see more things coming out of Baltimore. Now they're starting to talk about the water in the neighborhood and so forth, as well as the amount of murders and lack of education in Baltimore. And surprisingly, we've heard nothing about Donald Trump doing anything to uh, fix up those properties uh, that people were complaining about in Baltimore that were rodent infested and in need of repairs. But we haven't heard anything about uh, the slum landlord, Donald Trump, and we probably won't. But anyway, this is a program about stopping the violence. I was hoping we could get Mr. Ford on because he is from St. Paul, Minneapolis area. And as you've constantly read throughout the media about the killings in Minneapolis, the unrest in the George Floyd community, and the whole uh, lack of action within, or the whole lack of inaction, maybe I should say, within our community, meaning the black community, not knowing whether it's out of fear or um, lack of um, compassion, lack of caring. Uh, you know, uh, you know, I can't do anything about it, so just let it go. Seems to be the attitude in a lot of places, or especially by the older generation. Now, I think that the this younger generation, when you look at we've had the first Gen Zer elected to Congress, but we have a long way to go. But the only way for us to get there is through future generations. We must protect and prepare our children. We must stop the constant assault upon our children. As I said, this is just the 17th of January, and we've had twice, over twice, the number of children killed since the beginning of the year. An average of over two a day. Children are killed due to gun violence. Another 42, or two, is that 2.17 times 3 would be 21. Okay, so we have a little over 2.4 of our kids. I see Mr. Ford is here. Let's get Mr. Ford in.
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
How you doing, my brother? How are
I'm
you
doing
doing?
good. Everything good, brother.
I was talking to some of the other gentlemen about the violence toward our children just since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I know you are one of the gentlemen in the Minneapolis St. Paul area that has opened up programs, after school programs for the children of the area. Can you
Yeah.
tell me some of the obstacles that you've had to overcome in order to establish after school programs within your neighborhood?
Well, for me, this has been like a this has been a long time coming though. Since even in my boxing career, I mean back 10 years ago, I was
Oh, you froze up on me there.
I sold my truck, and me and a partner of mine, one of my close brothers, we took our money and we opened up a gym. And with the gym, we didn't own the building. We was renting out space. And so from that point on, we knew that, it would take time as far as getting, the government type of funding through a nonprofit. It kind of takes time. Sometimes it's good to just show that you got it, get it going. You know, get things going for the kids. And so what we're doing now is, thank you. We got. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. My bad. Okay. Yeah, we got kids, man. Like a lot of times, the kids sometimes they would just need a ride. You know, they just need a ride to the gym or to what they doing and whatnot. You know, something like that can be the difference of them being in the streets or so on and so on because they can't get a ride to practice or and they just someone just quit it and walk outside and end up being in the streets. So my thing is through our nonprofit, Fight for Your Dreams is helping kids, whatever that may be. If it's boxing or I got a couple, and I coach basketball as well. So like, I just took a couple of my kids, I picked them up, and I bring them to basketball practice, and I sponsor them. I sponsor them through my nonprofit, Fight for Your Dreams. So they only gotta, some of the parents can't afford it. So it's really, it's a real uphill battle for some, but it's all about the resources, and yeah.
Now, you talk about resources, and maybe I'm a pessimist, but I'm thinking with the current administration, a lot of the resources are going to dry up. Now, I'm also aware that I've had men on the show tonight, Vince Hudson, K9, and that have gyms like yourself, and a lot of times people drive by your gym or tend to think that because you have a lot of activity in your gym that you're well funded. They don't realize that it also takes a lot of your personal time and resources in order for you to keep some of these programs working. These are not, you know, far from what a lot of people think. These are not handouts.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but I want to salute to you and your whole panel and what you're doing, brother. You know, I mean, that's real. That's real.
And I'm trying to figure out what we can do as mentors and as men to stop the violence that reaches our kids, and re, how do we instill that not only respect for others but self-respect in yourself.
Right. I mean,
How
I,
do you
I, I say how
how
we.
do you address those things in
I
your
mean,
programs?
I just feel like how we install it is just so it's trial and error. You know, it's like we got to spend. You know, it's like we got to. It's like the Nike sign. Just do it. We got to do what we got to do for us making it happen. Meaning like being there for them, being there for the youth. You know, making the time for them. You know, and I just thank God. You know, for my health and my well being. You know, for being able to be a be a helping hand. You know, I'm just a helper. You know, and like I said, it just ain't me. It's through others, and I keep God first because I know it ain't me. I don't take credit for everything. You know, I'm thankful for being blessed and able to do so. But I just like I said, I think it's all about making time and being present. You know, being there, helping them.
Now, do how did your program start? Can you give us a little background on how you
Correct.
guys started?
Yeah, my program started. I had a truck. I had the money that I had made from a professional fight when I fought on ESPN. I had this no when I fought on Fox Sport Net. I had fought on Fox Sport and I took that money and I took it and I bought a truck. I bought a truck. I bought some rims on it and um and not knowing that this truck that I'm finna sell this truck. So I sold the truck eventually. I mean, I not knowing that eventually this truck I'm finna sell this truck and I'm finna use this money to open up a boxing gym. And that's how it all.
Now, when you said truck, are you talking about a commercial truck, a food truck?
No, back then I had bought a Chevy Tahoe
Okay.
truck, and I had
Oh,
put it on
okay.
20. I had put it on some 24-inch rims.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was luxury. It was nice to
uh,
me. I mean, I loved it. I was
you
like,
was you
but
you was balling.
That was my baby, my
Yeah.
big baby, my big
Okay.
truck.
All right.
But I had to sell it. I had to sell it in order to make do something that's righteous for the community that I felt was right. This is the right thing to do. So I had the money, in my bank account like that. So I sold that truck and got it going. And from that point on, I don't even think I had a vehicle for a while, but I was able to get back and forth, from getting on the bus and whatnot, or, I would jog to the gym, and I was making it happen for my fighters. Yeah, that's
See
how I
now,
started.
now even though I live in California now, I'm originally from back east, and I'm from a little town called Youngstown, Ohio. I don't know if you know a lot about Youngstown, but we've had like 6 or 7 world champions out of this little city. When he Boom Boom Mancini, Harry Arroyo, Ernie Shavers. So
Yep,
we
I know. Who was it? Who was it? What was his name? It was a middleweight that fought Jermaine Taylor. Thinking about Cali
um
Pavlik. Cali Pavlik. That's who
Pavlik,
it was.
yeah, Pavlik, yeah. We got a lot of stories about Kelly. Even I mean, but that's bad. But anyway, thing is, that we have a little boxing background in my
Oh
particular
yeah,
town.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
now,
Midwest.
uh, now you guys, I know, who's the Ronnie Shields fighter that's adopted your town now.
Rodney
Just
Shields. Fighter. You
he,
fought David Morale.
right. So now that you have a major contender
Yeah. Well,
in your
Caleb.
town, has it
Yep.
changed? Has
Yeah,
it
him.
changed
I
the
mean,
temperature?
the temperature been set, man. We've been moving it up, man. Moving the goalposts. Like I said, Caleb Truex, Jamal James, Javante Starks. I mean, we have fighters that kind of pay the dues to get it to where it's at, to where we kind of fortunate and appreciative to have a David Morale, come to Minnesota and actually, call it home, But I mean, the leg work was made through the amateurs to the pros, through some of the names that I have named
Oh yeah.
and myself, I don't like I say I pat myself on the back. I don't like to. I take the humble route. I wish there was
Yeah.
somebody else that could talk for me and
Uh,
talk about my accomplishments and my accolades. But yeah, I mean, I
well,
put
you,
the
you,
leg
you,
work.
I have done a lot of talking to one of your allies. He's, I would almost venture to call him a friend.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Every time
We
we
are.
talk, he's shoveling snow. So I would, I mean, come on, man. I moved here from Pittsburgh, so the chances of me
Yeah,
coming to,
y'all see. I know exactly what you're talking about. You was Pittsburgh, them Steelers, them Steelers. My
oh
man
yeah,
Truex.
hey, but
Yeah, my
yeah,
man Truex. My
yeah,
man. My
yeah,
main
yeah.
man. See,
So
our relationship is kind of unique because we don't talk all the time, but it's like when we're together, it's like nothing left, no love lost, no love lost.
Man, I've been doing my best to try to get you two to do a show with me,
Oh
man.
man, we gotta make
But
it happen, man.
but
It's gonna
it's
happen.
always
It's gonna
some
happen.
kind of conflict. But in 23, I'm gonna make it happen,
Yes,
man.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, man, can you kind of give me your short plan for 2023?
Yeah. Um, my short plan for 2020 is, I mean, to be honest with you, I wanna. My goal is to be a million, to get $1 million.
Okay,
That's my goal. Do something I want to touch 1 million. That's just keeping it 100 real with you. I want to.
okay.
That's my goal, but I don't know if I'm hoping to accomplish that. So I'm just setting the bar high. But yeah,
Well, the amazing thing is both you and your wife are involved within the
yeah.
community. So it's not just about the financial goal for you. It's also about helping your community, which
Oh yeah,
is
absolutely.
very
Because if I
commendable.
get that, everybody winning. You know, it ain't just me getting it. You know, and that's what I'm getting at. That's what it's all about. What I can do, I can do more. I can do more with more resources. I can do more. You know, because right now I'm driving kids around in my truck. You know, but I can get an actual vehicle where I can drive them around in a van, like I have a van. You know, with our logo on it or something. You know.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. So that's what we're getting at. That's the big picture. And thank you, James, for for keeping us on that straight and narrow. Because you know what it take though. You know, it's bigger than that though. It's bigger than that.
Hey man, I know the crooked path, and I do my best to try to keep people on that straight and narrow. This is kind of my goal in this part of my life. To be that elder and to teach and to make sure that people don't make the same mistakes that I have. But thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate. Why don't you tell people where they can find you on social media? Anything that you have coming up, let us know.
As of now, man, just continue to keep doing what I'm doing. We got a amateur boxing show coming up February 4th. I'm
That's
getting
my
ready to.
birthday, man. I'll be
Oh
76.
yeah, and it's something. Oh yeah. So we definitely gotta put it down on your birthday. We gotta get it for your birthday. We're gonna get that for your birthday. Some W's.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my
Uh,
brother.
all right. Let,
All
let,
right.
let me know who some of those fighters are. We'll get them on the show.
All
Thank
right.
you
Some of
so
the
much,
fighters
my
right
man.
here. There you go. The young kids, they're right here. Say what's up. What's up?
What's happening? What's going on?
Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
All right. Good.
These kids actually they're in the car. They're in the car right now. Well, we're in the car now. But these kids they actually play basketball too. So these kids are from the boxing gym. So what I do is I sponsor them to play basketball. So now I'm finna take them home. And I was like picking them up some pizza. So now we're finna head out. Yeah, man.
All right, my brother. You have a good night, man. Be safe up there.
I appreciate you too, brother.
All right. You
All
have
right.
a good night. Uh, that was Mr. Cicero Ford. I was hoping that he'd stop by. He's our guy up there in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Uh, Great fan of Caleb Truax, as I said, and I'm hoping that I can get a future show with them. Caleb does a lot of things with uh, amateur boxing also, so it'll be good to get these two gentlemen on, and they also went through the amateurs together, so they do have a very solid background. But I want to thank everyone that tuned in. I actually went over a little bit. I was intending this to be a 90-minute program, but I'm sorry we couldn't get Mr. Marvin McDowell. But we'll have another show where we can try to get them in. I thank everyone for their time. I thank everyone for listening, and do what you can do. If it's nothing more than talk to one, uh, as Mr. Sean, Coach Sean was saying, if you can just reach one, but let's save our children. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you next week.